So this is again on the cortex. So for you to understand about cortex, we look about the cortex data lake, which is now the data which is going to be aggregated from different solutions and be able to be put in a structured way that other solutions are going to be able to consume it, to be able to do these AI based protections. So we'll be focusing today mostly on the securing the enterprise where the NGFW is going to lie. Now, we need to understand from the beginning what used to happen so that we can be able to understand, have the clear picture on where we're coming from and where we are going. So everybody asks themselves, what is our next generation firewall? Where did it come from? So again, we we've been transitioning or evolving from different security solutions whereby we used to block or protect based on layer 3 and layer 4, what you used to call layer 4 or layer 3 firewalls, whereby we used to block things based on the port and the IP address. So this used to do some good job at least, but again, things are evolving. So we needed to understand, apart from blocking something, maybe your security, maybe the head of security is calling you, maybe you doing the implementation or the administrative tasks in a security department, then you being asked, okay, so you blocked, you said that we were experiencing some kind of attacks, so how did you manage to curb that? So you need to have some kind of what happened before and what you did and what you are going to do in future to make sure that whatever the attack that happened is not going to happen again. So here we getting some more advanced applications which can be able to move from one port to another, which can be able to use the normal ports that we are going to see, like DNS, which no organization can be able to cannot be able to work without the DNS. Because whatever we are querying servers, whatever we are querying URLs online, web applications, we are going to use these kind of URLs or host names to be able to get these services. So DNS again, we understand that it uses port number 53. So how are these legacy policies, which are based on the ports, can be able to again be part of the vulnerabilities or increase the gaps that we're creating in our environment to that make us be more exposed than we thought that we are trying to protect ourselves. So by other applications like BitTorrents, which normally uses some of these ports. So let's say you had opened bot number 80 and port number 53. So then you want to block some things like BitTorrent. So BitTorrent again can be able to use like generally any port which is open. So to some extent, it tries to do like what other applications do, like trying to scan which port is open, and they can be able again to use this. So we had to use these kind of firewalls to be able to protect. Remember, before the inception of the internet, we didn't have these bad guys. We used to stay in peace, one compound and the other, people can be able to walk in before people started saying, this is my land, this is my
Hi,
house. Yeah.
Ezra. The attendants are requesting that you make your presentation a bit visual. They need to see the slides, everything, because kind of, I think the attendants that we have
Yeah.
kindly maybe know about all the theory work. So they're requesting if we can, move your slides and they get to see what we have prepared for them. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks for that nice feedback.
Okay.
So again, I try to assume that some of the guys might not understand. So now that most of the guys understand where we're coming from, then again I'll try to move a little bit fast, try to understand what we're going to do, because today's session might be more focused on labs. Try to understand what else you can be able to do. Then we will try to talk about maybe other new solutions that we offering that can be able also to curb like the COVID, how we can be able to assist our staff to be able to scale work from home without any solution. So again, let me then go through very fast on what you're talking about here. So again, the most critical thing about Palo Alto again is the way that we try to execute. So again, most of people I think understand this again. So I'll try to move very fast now that there's been a change. So again, preventing unsuccessful attacks, trying to automate. This is what we again doing. Try to consume innovations quickly. We talked about the cortex. Then we need to make sure that there is some kind of sanctity in how we are creating the policies. So based on the user application and the content, this is how we have to make sure that we are going to create a policy that is user aware, that is also application aware, and also content. Hello? Someone asking a question? Okay. So again, we talked about this, how this is how the legacy rules used to be like. Then we introduced a little bit of more visibility by trying to focus on HTTP and SSL might not be number 443. So 443 can be able to be used by other solutions. So we need again try to put more visibility on the IP, whereby you can be able to bind the IP to the user, and also be able to bind this user to a department. So again, this is some kind of visibility that we are trying to introduce here. Then also the outside that the destination IPs, we also focused map them to more regional based, like you can be able to map an IP to a country, and also try to understand what these guys are also trying to do. For example, content aware, by being able to understand this guy is not only doing uploading, but he's also uploading to SlideShare, and the content that they are trying to upload is the PPT. So these are some of the things that we're going to do on today's session while we will be going through the labs. Then also some DLP capabilities, whereby again we can be able to understand, go into the content, try to understand that this content that we are trying to move out, is it is it allowed to be done so again we're going to have more full-fledged DLP solution that's going to be part of the platform again. But again, this is again can be able to do some good job. So the way again the legacy solutions used to do their stuff, we also moved and did you know consolidating all these solutions. So by default, you realize that user ID, content ID, and application, they come by default, and this was the part of the next generation firewall. So again, you can realize that at the moment also some guys are still licensing app ID. So this enhances the application visibility, being able to create rules based on the application. Like AVC nowadays from Cisco, this can be able to be licensed, but application ID again in Palo Alto, this is free. So again, this enhances on how we can be able to be competitive in the market. Then also other subscriptions that you can be able to do is Wildfire, which is our sandbox environment.
Yes,
So
excuse me, Ezra. We
yes,
people are not able to see your presentation, and that's what the attendants are asking for. So can you move your slide so that they see when you're talking about the next gen firewalls, when you're talking about the subscriptions, all that. That's what they're asking for, and
oh
if
okay. So
we're not
so
able to see anything. Yeah.
oh sorry about that. Oh my god. So what can we be able to see from the presentation? You can see secure the
Um,
enterprise.
we are now able to see secure the enterprise. So you move with your slides. If you are talking about the enterprise, show the slides for enterprise, show the slides for Prisma, show your slides for Cortex, like that. So at least guys can see, because that's what we need to be showing to them, but they're
Now,
not able to see that.
okay, seems like when I'm doing in the presentation mode, it collapses. Just a few minutes. So now you can see in the beginning.
No, not yet.
Oh,